What's up, everyone? Welcome to P4P TV. This is Michael, and it's been a while, but I'm back. Dmitry Bivol has had an all-Mexican year in 2022 after soundly defeating Saul Alvarez, who stepped up to 175 pounds for only the second time in his career. Bivol is now set to defend his WBA title against mandatory challenger and another Mexican native, the unbeaten Gilberto Ramirez. Also on the card that night is a cracking super lightweight unified and undisputed title bout between UK's Chantelle and United States' own Jessica McCaskill. Both ladies are two-division champs, but for McCaskill, it means returning to 140 pounds and clearing out that division the way she has at 147 pounds. And for Cameron, who defends her ring IBF and WBC titles, she'll be looking to add the vacant WBO and WBA to be that division's unified and undisputed champ. Cordina was also scheduled to fight that night, but a hand injury has forced him out. This resulted in him being stripped of his IBF Super Featherweight title after two medical extensions were afforded by the IBF, but sadly not long enough for Cordina, who looks to return after the extended period. The now vacant IBF title fight will likely be between Shavkat Rakhimov and replacement Zelfa Barrett. However, this has not yet been confirmed at the time of this upload. It all goes down November 5th inside the Etihad Arena, Abu Dhabi, in the UAE. Dmitrii Bivol is set to defend his WBA light heavyweight title against a naturally bigger and stronger guy than in his last bout. As you know, Saul Alvarez dared to be great by stepping up and facing Bivol in Bivol's division, and he was swiftly reminded why weight divisions exist in the first place, even if some of the judges had that fight closer than perhaps it should have been. It's true Canelo has beat a light heavyweight before in the aging and somewhat faded Sergey Kovalev, but that fight was fairly and rightfully even on the judges' cards before the knockdown in the 11th. The reality is, size matters, and for Bivol, he now faces a guy that probably could have moved up to 175 pounds much sooner in his career. It's also the first time since Cedric Agnew back in 2017 that Bivol will face a fully dedicated southpaw. Fighting southpaws is not something that Bivol is unfamiliar with, but this time it will be against a more aggressive, pressure-orientated and durable lefty. No, not that kind of lefty. Bivol's pro career before the Alvarez fight was progressing nicely, and Bivol captured a few decent scalps along the way with wins over big punchers like Joe Smith Jr., rough, tough, strong and sturdy guys like Jean-Pascal, who at his age is experiencing a bit of a pro career renaissance, and wins over solid boxing talent when switched on, like Sullivan Barrera and Isaac Chilemba. But he was fighting somewhat under the radar and needed a marquee fight to elevate his status and brand for the broader boxing market and fan base. This is what the Alvarez fight did for Bivol. It didn't just thrust him into the spotlight in the USA, but internationally, and particularly with the Mexican fans. Like his fellow fighter from the former USSR, Gennady Golovkin,
I like sex.
Bivol has ingratiated himself among the Mexican fight fan base because of his no-nonsense, humble approach and limited smack talk. As they say, let the fists do the talking. And in the ring, Bivol does this with a combination of boxing, power, and ring IQ. He is a truly well-rounded fighter, and even the most tunnel-visioned Mexican Ramirez fan appreciates the threat that Bivol poses for their guy. At least I think they do. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez has campaigned as a light heavyweight in his last 5 bouts, where given his height and size, he appears to be more at home in this weight class at this stage of his life and career after outgrowing the 168-pound division. Whereas some fighters, for example, David Benavidez, who still lingers at super middleweight despite his frame and size, and obviously still feels confident he makes the weight. But for Zurdo, it was time to set his eyes upstairs on the next level. Ramirez, who also dabbles as a promoter, successfully defended his WBO 5 times as a 168-pounder after taking the title off then title holder Arthur Abraham in a shutout performance and becoming Mexico's first to win a major 168-pound title. Another noteworthy contrast, I think, is where Benavidez appears to be waiting at super middleweight, hoping to make a big money fight with the likes of Canelo Alvarez. Ramirez was happy to vacate his belt and move north to create and achieve new dreams. Moving on was the right choice as he now finds himself primed and ready for the WBA title in a new division. Before that happens, the Ramirez team will need to consider how to approach this fight with Bivol. Zurdo can certainly box, but coming in heavier, he's noticeably not as spry on his feet as he was in his former division. He still carries accuracy, and with his long reach, Bivol will need to be wary, shifting and moving away from Ramirez to create distance as he can still reach him. But moving forward, crowding, cutting and creating angles against a good mover like Bivol, who also manages distance so effectively, will prove a more difficult task than some of the more stationary opponents that Zurdo has faced previously. Zurdo's attention to bodywork will be important, and that straight left down the middle will at some point make contact, I believe, with Bivol, but both fighters possess stiff chins. Zurdo has proven this time and again as he does get tagged cleanly and often. Both fighters are unbeaten, Ramirez with a record of 44-0 with 30 knockouts versus Bivol, who is 20-0 with 11 knockouts. Don't let the records fool you though, as in terms of quality fighters and a resume, I definitely give the edge to Bivol. This will be a good fight and it will come down to who has the better game plan. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to let Rolf Harris babysit my kids, but I'm going to give the edge to Dmitrii Bivol. Zurdo will no doubt bring the action, but Bivol's boxing IQ and craft I think will get him over on points, just as long as he keeps busy in there, as I think Zurdo will bring a high volume of punching that could win the judges over if he can land effectively and often enough. Before we hear from the experts, a reminder to please jab that like, share, subscribe and notification bell. Check out our Patreon page to become a Patreon family member where you'll receive some cool perks. Are you looking for some new threads? We've got t-shirts, hoodies and more, so head on over to our Michael Akobi Pound for Pound TV stores. They can be found on Redbubble and Spreadshop, so make sure to check them out. I've said for some time that life is a fight outside the ring, and like so many, I too have battled with anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and so many obstacles in life. These were dark times, but I turned it around, and my experiences might help you to do the same if you are or have dealt with similar hardships. It's all documented in my book, How to Get Out of Life Traps, and it's available on Amazon, so just follow the link below. Thank you for watching Pound for Pound TV. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates. See you in the next one. Looking for somewhere to store your crypto? I'm not a financial advisor, but it's pretty obvious that cryptocurrency is growing in popularity and utility. And many folks think that they've missed the boat on cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum, but they couldn't be further from the truth. And if you're invested or looking to invest, CoinSpot has you covered. This is not a paid sponsor, but CoinSpot is what I use to buy or sell crypto, and it's where I keep my investments safe. Click the link below and check out the up-to-date and user-friendly charts and overall platform that is blockchain certified and trusted by millions of users. Follow the link provided and enter the code to receive $10 worth of Bitcoin just for simply signing up.